Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we're going to start tutorial number 1 for my Falling in Love mini album. And we are going to start by making 4 pages or tunnels. And we are going to have 4 pieces at 11 inches by 8.5, so full page, standard sheet. You're going to score a 1/2 inch on each end of your 11-inch side. In addition to that, we need 4 at 8.5 wide by 10 inches. And I am going to be using my art glitter glue. You can use whatever attachment system that you prefer. If you prefer tape, do tape. If you prefer tape and glue, do that. If you prefer just glue like I do, then go ahead and do that. I do use tape sometimes. It's not that I don't use it at all. I do use it occasionally. Now, we're just going to glue one end of our 10-inch piece to that end there. I have to switch glues. That feels in there. Let's see what to do here. I put too much glue on there, I think. So let's go ahead. And I already have 3 of these built. So we're just going to build this one together. It's already done. Let's go ahead and make sure we line up there. Make sure our edges are lined up good. Again. All right. I have pre-cut and scored and punched all of my other pieces I believe that I'm going to need. So we're going to start with page 1. Now I number my pages 1, 1, 1, 2. So the 1, 1 would be the front side, 1, 2 would be the back side of that page. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way here. And we are going to start with this here. I have 2 pieces that are cut 7 wide by 4 7/8 high. And on your 4 7/8 side, I scored at a 1/2 inch. Now, all the ones that have the heart shape cut out, I use the Martha Stewart heart. There we go, like that. And she doesn't have numbers or anything. It's just the heart one. So that is what I use. So my actual decorative cardstock that I put on these is going to be smaller than what you would have unless you use the same style of punch or a punch that does have that. It ends up being about 3/4 of an inch that it takes off of the side. So this one ended up taking like 1.5 inches off. So I have 2 of those. And oops. Nope, that's my decorative cardstock. Let me measure what I did these at. I think these were 1/2 of a page. So let me see. So where it's written down here, and then I'll tell you. Okay. So it was one 11-inch piece cut at 5.5 inches. So it was 8.5 inches wide. So I just cut one standard cardstock in half at 5.5 inches on my 11-inch edge, and then scored a 1/2 inch on the 5.5 inch side. So, okay. go ahead and glue these in. One's going to flip up, one's going to flip down. This is like that. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball the center of this. This is really hard to see. I might have to get a piece of white cardstock here so we can see better. Piece of white cardstock. There we go. Hopefully this will help see better. Here we go. And then this one's going to flip down. And we should have just a little tiny, should meet up pretty perfect. Okay. A lot of glue by that. Okay. So I'm going to put this down so I can line these kind of up there. So they're kind of even. Bring this down along the bottom here. There we go. That worked out perfect. Oops, got glue on my finger. Manage that one. If it dripped or what, but I managed to get glue on myself there. Okay. All right. Oh, that's drying weird. I'm going to take the cap off of this one here and put this on there instead. I'm not liking the way that's coming out there. It's the glue or what? But we're not going to take a chance. Here we go. It shouldn't be leaving white marks like that on my paper. All right, so this flips down, this flips up. So, and then we have one that is 8.5 high by 11 inches wide, and I scored at 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, and then again at 7 1/8 of an inch. You're going to fold this in your burnish, fold that in, and that is going to give us a little area. I thought it'd be nice for them to be able, this is a gift, to write how they met, and then maybe a few of their favorite things to do together or individual and together. So we'll do that. I'm going to center this. I'm going to make sure my little 1/8 of an inch gusset is showing. Right. So I don't glue my gusset down. Let's try this glue here. And it's just going to just be kind of a nice little love story mini album. And I'm going to be using my authentique, 2 different authentique papers. I'm just going to eyeball the center of this. It should be about 3/4 of an inch each end, I think. There we go. Pretty close. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to get my gusset back in there. There we go. Okay. So we'll these in, in. Put that in. And I think I'm going to add a magnet, maybe just one magnet, right in the center there. Let's go ahead and do that, and that'll hold that page down. Let me use a bigger sized magnet. Let's get my magnets out here. There we go. I don't think I need a huge one. All right. So let's go ahead and attach one here. Tape. Double-sided tape here. So let's attach one to like here. I like to stay away from my edge, so not to interfere with putting the paper on. I'm going to open these up. Whoops, then I dropped the magnet. There we go. Put my tape upside down there, just like that. Bring this closed. Make sure my gusset is good. And just like that. And then I like to gently slide away from me or towards me, just to make sure I don't pull that off. There we go. And that should hold that closed. Yeah. All right. Perfect. All right, so that is page 1-1. Page 1-2. I have one that's going to flip. What do I want to do? Do I want that on there? Yeah, I think this one's supposed to go on there too. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this. I think this is supposed to go on that side. Yes. So this is 10 inches high by 8.5 wide, but I think I'm going to cut that down to 9 7/8 just to make a little more room because of these two there. I don't want it hurting those, so we'll just cut this at 9 7/8 just to give us a little bit more room there. 1/8 inch off. Got my trimmer handy here just for these reasons. I did not put this together before. This is just kind of, I measured and cut and figured out what I wanted. So there might be some adjustments here. That happens. Okay. So again, this has been on the 8.5 wide side. It's been scored at 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. I've got my gusset out of the way. About that, my computer thinks it needs to do a update, but so let's go ahead and get some glue on here. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna grab all that center. You need about 1/16 of an inch on each end here. Come on, slide up a little bit. There we go. All right. That looks about right. I'm just making a mess here. I think maybe it's because it's black. It's just showing everything up. That is just crazy. All right. Okay. In that and that. Yeah, I think that'll look good. I don't want this one on the inside too. Nope, I think I want this one on the outside. All right. So if that looks like it's not going to stay closed, then we'll adjust that later. All right. So that's page 1. Page 2 is a lot simpler. We have one piece that was cut at 8 wide by 8.5 high, and it's scored on the 8 wide side at a 1/2 inch. And then of course I got my 3/4 inch border, so that'll make my little. I'm going to put this in the upper right hand corner here, just like so. This one does not have a gusset, it's just a 1/2 inch. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up to my right hand corner. I'm going to line up that top edge and then line my edge up there. Perfect. Just like that. And this is going to flip this way. Okay. And then we have this one. It is 4.5 inches high by 7 3/4 wide. On the 7 3/4 side, I've scored at a 1/2 inch. And of course I have my punch there. And I think this one I'm going to put about in the center. Just like that. Again, there's no gusset on this one. Right. Get a little bit right there. You could put this anywhere along here you want. I think I'm just going to just about center it there. And on that edge. Right. There we go. So this will flip left, this will flip right. So I got that little gap there, so let me, oh, maybe there's enough glue there already. This is just regular 65-pound weight cardstock here. So, and I think I used 27 sheets of black altogether. So I think that's what I used. All right. So that is page 1 and page 1, 2. Page 2. Okay, let me get the extras away from here a second. There we go. We have all right. Start with this one. We have what I call a flip up. So this piece started at 11 inches high by 8.5 wide. I scored at a 1/2 inch on my 11-inch side, 5/8, and then again at 5 7/8. And so this will tuck right inside there. Now, if you don't have the punch, it's going to come closer, but you'll have enough room. So this is just going to be attached to the top. So I'm going to make sure I have my gusset showing. I'm going to attach this right to this top edge here on my page. Okay. Lining up my edges. Making sure they match. There we go. Okay. I'm going to bring this up score my gusset there. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now my second piece is a flip down. This was 8 7/8 inches high by 8.5 wide. On my 8 7/8 inch side, I scored it a 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. Just trying to get my gusset back out of the way there. So this will be like, I think, a 2-part tutorial. We'll do one of the build, and then we'll do one with the decorating and doing the book. So, doing the cover. Because I didn't get the cover ready, so we'll do that with the decorating part. There we go. So we got to flip down, flip up, and then this will flip open again, just like that. Okay. And then we have 2 pieces that are 7 3/4 wide by 4.5 high. On the 7 3/4 wide side, I have scored at a 1/2 inch on each one. One is going to flip left, and one is going to flip to the right. We can go ahead and attach those, and they do not have a gusset, just a 1/2 inch edge. This book is going to be for photos. I don't have any pockets in this book, just because I didn't think that was really their style. So now I'm going to drop this down right about to that 1/2 inch hinge that we had from this one here. Oops, curled my little hearts in. And then open. And then on this one, I'm going to come up, bring this down to about that 1/2 inch. I should, yeah, make them about perfect together. And it's going to get covered with decorative cardstock, so that will give us a nice little, there we go. All right. So again, I'm going to bring this down to that 1/2 inch. Line up my edge there. There we go. So flips in, flips down, flips up. Okay. So let's go ahead and add a magnet in here. So we're going to take a magnet here. Put right in. Whoops. Had my other ones too close. There we go. So I think about right in there. I want to stay up about an inch or so. There we go. Extra piece of tape there. Not sure what that piece of, there we go. A little piece of fuzz or something on there. Okay. So I want to bring this up. Make sure my gussets are good. Magnet, and I'm just going to rub on each side of my magnet there. And then slide to make sure I'm not pulling it up. There we go. There. So that is 2, 1. Side 3, 1. I have cut a piece of regular cardstock. This is cream colored. at 7 1/8 high by 8 3/8 wide. And this is going to be my base for this. Ooh. You know what? I think I'm going to wipe this off a second. I think I'm going to add some black soot to the edge of that. I think that's what we're going to do. All right. Here we go. We'll just put a little black soot on there so I can't. I know I put glue on there, but I don't see it. Okay. Oh, it's on the back side. There we go. And the reason I want a little black soot on here is because I'm going to be using creams and blacks and whites as the colors for this. There we go. That is the colors. And I have actually two different lines, or I don't know what you want to call it. Two different paper collections is what I want to say. Mine is not functioning properly today, I guess. Two different paper collections that I'm using for this album to bring the elements I want into it. I didn't want just the black because I just thought it was too much black. So, and the other patterns I had was too feminine, and I didn't want it too feminine. And this book is for both of them. So I didn't want it too feminine, and then I didn't want it too Valentine-y. So I chose the black and white one, which was, it is Eternal pack, and I have the sticker sheets for this. So it's the Everlasting Collection Kit, and I do have the sticker sheets, and I had additional sheets of this one here, which has this on the back, a bunch of additional pieces like that, of that one, but it was just too black for me. So then I decided to pull in this collection. What is this one? Faith collection, I think it is. So decided to pull in those two. So I think I'll have a good mix of the two, because the stickers that I have, I don't have, yeah, I do have some stickers for the Faith, but I don't know if I'll use too many of those. But they've got that cream in them. So that is why I'm pulling in the cream colors. All right. So on this one, we're going to do a waterfall. So I have cut 6 pieces at 6 1/2 wide by 5 inches high. And on my 5-inch edge, I've scored them all at a 1/2 inch. So we're going to kind of center this here. And I'm going to drop it down. I know it is about 7 inches when it's together. So let's see here. So let's leave more at the top. I'll leave 1.5 inches at the top. So I can line my ruler up here with my cream. And I can see that. And I'm going to make a pencil line here. Yeah, I think I want to do the 2 inches maybe. Yeah, let's do the 1 3/4. So I'm going to line up 1 3/4. And I'm just going to draw a light pencil line so I have a start point there. Okay. And then this is, what is this, wide? think I can eyeball it, but we'll just get a 8, 8, 4 and an 8. So about right. Yeah, that's about center there. Oops, here. Let's see here. Let's get this centered here. So right there's a center. And then I'll mark a center of one of these. Then we'll erase all that. Just give us some small lines to start by. So, and the reason I'm using the decorative cardstock for this is because then I don't have to decorate and create more thickness on my waterfall. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that up to that line there. Just like that. Why is that not even? It don't look even. I'm going to eyeball it. I didn't figure that one right, did I? Down. I didn't figure that one right. There we go. So let's go ahead and erase all of this. And then I thought I'd put a nice sticker up there. Okay. That look even. Let's see here. Yep, okay. It's an optical illusion. All right. So we're going to bring our next one right up underneath that. I know this is kind of repetitive for those of you who have seen waterfalls done before, but there are new people that may not have seen it yet. So we're going to bring this down. Okay. So, away. And just keep on going all the way down. There's 6 of them, like I said. Line that up. How does that look? I don't know if it's the design or what that's throwing me off, but it looks crooked to me. Line that up. Like so. You just go by all 6 down here. Go. And the last one. Just gonna line that one up too, like that. This here. Go. Gonna press. Perfect. All right. Got that like that. All right. Now I do want to add And I should have done that before. How can we do that? I think, like when they got to be broken a little bit here. Okay, if I put another piece here, let's see here. Let me grab another piece of cream cardstock here. And I'm going to cut this at, let's say, let's do it 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches by 8.5 high. I think because I don't have it spread all out here, it doesn't want to cut it. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of this one. And we are going to score it at, let's give it a little room. Let's score it at, let me see, I want to come up to the top one. So let's get this marked here. So I'm going to come up to the top one there. So I'm going to mark it right there. So that would be, all right, so 2 2.25, and let's go back and give it a 1/4 inch, 3/8. Yeah, let's give it a 1/4 inch, I guess. So 2 inches and 2.25 inch. Score that at. All right. So that should give us a good, oh yeah, that's plenty. So once it gets pictures in it, it should still be good. That's plenty. Plenty, plenty, plenty. In fact, maybe too much. I think I'm going to go back in and score that at 2 1/8. Okay. So 2 inch and 2 1/8 instead, because I think that 2 1/4 might be just too much. All right. So we'll have to do another one of those in a bit, because we have 2. All right. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, and we'll cover this with something too. We'll decorate that somehow. We will figure it out. And next one I'll glue underneath. Maybe do it matching. All right. So I'm gonna bring this up into here. And my gusset. So I'm on the 2 inch side here. Bringing that up there, and I'll lift it up for you to see it in just a second. Okay. So there's my 2 inch score line right there. So I brought my 2 inch score line right to the edge of that paper there. And this will go just like that. So let's go ahead and add a magnet to this. And my magnets I've got off of eBay. I get a pretty good deal on them, so. And I usually order quite a few at once, so I don't have to order them all the time and wait. So, I haven't tried any from AliExpress yet. So if you have, and you know about ones from AliExpress, let me know. All right, so my tape is upside down there. There we go. Oops. How do I want to do that? Okay. We'll do a decorative sticker on there too. So I'm just going to come in here. Line that up like that. There we go. We'll have to decorate something on this top one here. I mean, the picture will cover it. So that would be fine too, but I like to make it look nice. It's a gift, so we'll make it look. All right, so that will hold that. Okay. Like I said, it's got to be broken some. Once it gets broken a little bit, it'll be fine. All right, so that is 2-1 and 2-2. 3-1 here. And we're going to do the same thing. We have a piece here. Okay. And I'm just going to let that sit all the way around. I should have done some black sit on my other ones too. Let's see here. I'll go back and do those off camera there. Just have to have both sides done. But yeah, this is designed for all pictures and journaling. I don't know how many events they do together, but I'm sure they do things together. But I'm not familiar with exactly what they do, so I thought. And it's not a young couple. It's an old couple, but let's say like in their 40s. So I'm pretty sure, yeah. Let's say like in their 40s. All right. Okay. So come in here and mark with my ruler. Again, at 1.5 inches. Just bring your line here. And then I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna eyeball that, but I do want to mark this part here. So then I can, so 3 1/4. Yeah. All right. There we go. So because I put my flip thing on this paper, I'm going to do the same thing so they match, because it's a book. It's like mirror imaged. So I want to do the same thing for this one, but I would recommend, if you can, to put it underneath. Then you don't have to worry about disguising it somehow. So, and the magnet on the top, that's kind of, unless you do plain cardstock and then decorate over top of it, that's the way that's going to have to end, I'm afraid. Okay. So, not much you can do about that, but I like the idea of decorative cardstock. Then I don't have to bulk up my fingers are going to get really dirty looking because of the black soot and my glue. Okay, so I apologize for the dirty looking hands, but it's inevitable with inks. And all right, so I'm just eyeballing it right there, like so. Yeah. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the other one. Just going to come in and butt our 1/2-inch hinge. I'm going to get a hold of that right up against there. Okay, line it up. Bring this one down to make sure we're just gentle press. Ooh, look right. There we go. Let's make sure here. Nope, no, that's crooked. Put it back down there a little bit. Okay, here we go. Just 6 of them. Pretty nice day today here in Michigan. Good. It's supposed to be 50 degrees because it always cracks me up, like when I talk about the weather and then someone might see this like 3 years from now and go, what in the world are you talking about? It's August. So I don't know why I talk about the weather. Just conversation, I guess. And the last one here. This comes together pretty quick. It took me a little time to get it ready. I started prepping it yesterday, but most of it I did today, getting it ready. So I've got, I don't know, 5 hours or so into it, so not too bad. Not too bad. So again, we're going to cut a 2-inch piece here. Or did I know I did 2.5. 2.5-inch piece. 2.5. Round my corners. Grab the scoreboard. Okay. And we scored this at 2 inches and 2 1/8. 2 inches and 2 1/8. Okay. So again, we're going to get our glue on the 2-inch part of the panel here. Perfect. Bring that down. We're going to line that. Can eyeball the center here. Line up our 2-inch score mark with the bottom of that paper. There we go. Perfect. All right. And then we're going to put a magnet down. Right in there. Go. The tape down. Like so. Tape picks up the ink from my hands here. Okay. And make sure my gusset is straight up and down there. Press on the side of my magnet slide. There we go. Perfect. And again, this one will have to be broken a little bit. There we go. All right. That part down. And you have your waterfall. And get 13 pictures in here, easy. Okay. All right. On the back of 3-2, we have a flip up that is 6.5 inches high, 6.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches high. On the 8.5 inch side, it was scored at 1/2 inch and 5. It looks like I gave it a 1/16 of an inch. So 1/2 inch, and what would that be? 9/16. Let me double check just to make sure. Yes, 9/16. Just a little bit. And you don't have to do that. You can give just a 1/2 inch. I just wanted a little bit of room in there. So we're going to add that down here. And again, this is got the border punch on there. So yours will be a little bit longer if you don't have a 3/4 inch border punch on yours. I'm just going to eyeball the center of that. About right there, I think. There we go. Okay. And then we have 2 cut at 7 3/8 wide by 4.5 high. And we, on the 7 3/4 inch side, scored at a 1/2 inch. So we're going to lay those, one on the left side, one on the right side. And some of my writing might be upside down. It's okay. While I was cutting and figuring it out, I wanted to put my measurements for my decorative cardstock on there too. Well, I had everything right handy. So I'm going to bring this up here like so. And it's probably about a little over 1/4 inch. Nope. Come on. There we go. I'll tell you how far down it is here in a second here. Yeah, there we go. Lost my ruler. So yeah, it's about 3/8 of an inch down, I think. So, all right. It's crooked to me for some reason. All right, and then this one will go down here, and we'll try to keep that about 3/8 of an inch also. Yeah. There's my score line there. Just burnish it a little bit better. Okay. and about 3/8. And then that'll give us about 3/8 there too. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. So now do I want a magnet under there? Yeah, let's go ahead and put a magnet on top here. Find my, see, not too hard. There it is. I'm looking for my pen for my glue here. There we go. Ouch. Missed. It missed. I'm going to put magnet right in there. So like that. Let's get this out here. All right. So I think kind of holding this up because that's so thick there that I want to find my magnet there. And I don't want the other side deciding where my magnet should hit. There we go. It's going to be good. Yeah, hopefully. Let me put a couple more pieces of paper in between there and see what happens. Oh yeah, it's still, all right. Just one check. All right. So that is page 3-1, 3-2. And our last one is page 4. Okay. So let's see here. What side do I want? Right. And I guess it really doesn't matter. Okay. So we are going to start with a piece of cardstock that was 11 inches high by 8.5 wide. On your 11-inch side, it's scored at 3/4 of an inch and 1/2 of an inch. So you're going to have a nice 3/4 of an inch. And that's just so I didn't have to cut it down. Just so I didn't have to cut it down. So it just gives a bigger hinge there. So, there we go. And that's going to be attached to the top of our tunnel. Right there we go. Just like so. Whoopsie. It's a little off. There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. So this has a 1/4 inch gusset. So we're going to bring our gusset back up there. Reburnish that. And that's our flip up. We have an additional, it says a lot of flips here. How did I do that one? Okay, let me see here. Oh yeah, on this here, so we're going to have, I think 2 there. These, trying to remember if these here. And these went down here. Okay. So, yes, I think these went down here. And that has a Okay, so we're going to attach this here. Just like that. And it's going to be about 3/4 of an inch up, 3/4 of an inch down. So this is a piece that was 7 inches wide by 8 3/8 high. And the score lines were at 1/2 and 5/8. Okay. So this is going to be attached to our right side. Or you could attach it to the left side. I'm just going to attach it to the right side here because it's going to flip. Okay. So I've got a mark there, 3/4 of an inch. Light pencil line there. There we go. All right. Okay. That goes like that. Make sure my gusset's good there. I'm going to double check my writing here because I do have it written down. Okay. Okay. All right. So these two were both cut from one 11-inch piece. So you're going to cut two. So you're going to cut your 11-inch side at 5 1/2. And then you're going to keep your 8 1/2. And on your 5 1/2-inch edge, you're going to score it a 1/2 inch on each one. These are going to flip up and flip down. And they might interfere with my gusset there. So we're going to trim those down to, let's see here. Let's trim them down. They're 8 1/2. So let's get an 1/8 of an inch off of there. So we'll trim them down to 8 3. Ooh. What we got here? 8 3/8. There we go. I'm going to trim off an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to change those to 8 3/8. Just so they don't interfere with my flip there. And like I said, sometimes these things come up. I didn't pre-build it. So that's good and bad because you get to see the process, but bad because it's not flowing perfectly. It'll be all right. It's going to be all right. All right. So. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring this right down to the bottom there. And okay. Stay about 1/16 of an inch away from my gusset, 1/16 from the edge. There we go. And then this one's going to do the same. Okay. It's going to flip down. Right. So looking at my gusset there. I'm going to stay away from the upper gusset. My 1/4 inch gusset. And this one. Okay. Perfect. All right. up, down, clips in, like so. And then these two are already got the magnets on them. Little magnets here, so we'll add little magnets there too. And these, it's like a gatefold, and those are going to go right on there. So they were cut at, measure them. I did not do the edges of this one with a heart because I can get a picture on there. Perfect. So if I do it with hearts, then I can't. So that's why that one's not. So these were 4 3/4 wide by 8.5 high. Okay. And on the 4 3/4 side, they're scored at a 1/2 inch. Okay. So those are both cut out of one 8.5 by 11. So I'll write that down. 4 3/4 wide by 8.5 high. Score at 1/2 inch. Okay, and they're both the same. 8.5 wide on the 4 3/4 side. Score 1/2 inch. There. All right, so we're gonna glue on our here, and I'm going to, I think, center this like that. There we go, just about that. Looks like about 3/8 of an inch up, give or take a smidge. There we go. And this one's going to come in here, just like that. And I used the really tiny magnets on this one because I want to use those up. So I used 3. So we'll use a total of 6 there. Okay, so let me get this here. I'm going to bring this over here so I can see where I'm lined up. Just like that. Bring it over my paper. There we go. Perfect. All right, there we go. So we have a flip left, flip right. I'll tell you, I hate when that puckers because then it makes the paper underneath pucker too. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and grab some of our tiny magnets. And I just glued those ones on. These ones will add a little tape too. Right. So ain't going to take very much tape, just a little piece. Well, it's got to go around each side. So let's see, let's pull some off here. Like I said, they're tiny. All right. So let's get these over here. A little time consuming, but hey. They've got a decent grip, but they're not, they're just not strong enough. I wouldn't buy them again. They were the first magnets I bought when I started. And so that's why I still have them. You know, I'm not going to throw them out because, you know, they weren't free. Even if they were free, I'd find some use for them. But I'll use them up. Just use a few more than normal. But since these I knew were going to only have like a couple thicknesses of paper between them, that's why I decided to use them right up here. All right. So here I'm going to find my center one there. They don't have to be exact. And then find my next one. And the top one. And then I like to slide a number. Okay, there we go. And we're going to do this. Find that center one, press, end one, go. There, perfect. There we go. Now for these ones, I think I'm going to do 2 magnets. I'm going to do a magnet here and a magnet there. So let's go ahead and get those ready. So let's go ahead here. Again, stay away from your edges, about 1 inch. If you can. There's going to be some instances when you can't. Just be closer. But it helps hide the magnets a lot easier that way. Oh, that's a thick one. I know I got another thin one here. Okay. Perfect. Okay. There we go. So get that down. Remember, this one has a gusset, so we want to make sure our gusset's straight. Oops. There we go. And then this will help hold that in. And then that should stay closed pretty good because it's going to be folding down over top of it. If it doesn't, we can always add another magnet there too, but that lines up pretty good. Okay, side 1, 2. We have a lot here too. Okay. So we have I think I've got these numbered. Okay, I got 2 of these, 2 of these. What is that one? 2 of these, 2 of those, and then I've got. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay. This one goes on here. This one here. Okay, so we can go ahead this on. So this is an additional. This is a flip left. This is the right. And this was 8.5 high by 9 inches wide. On the 9-inch side, you're going to score it 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. I got my piles goofed up here. As soon as I seen that extra, I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. There we go. So we're going to close this so we can line this one up with it. I'm putting my hinge underneath there. I just want to get an idea of where this has to go. Right like that, I think. All right. So let me get this out of the way here. Oh, it's down too far. It's got to go up some. Just got to go up some. There we go. All right, perfect. There we go. Easier to line this edge up with my hinge on that side. There we go. All right. Remember, these have a gusset, so we're going to re-burnish that gusset there. Just 1/8 of an inch, but All right, so that there, and then that still will hold that down. All right, better. All right. This one here, we have two cut at 8.5 wide by 9 7/8 high. On your 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. Okay. And one of these is going to flip to the right, and one is going to flip to the left. So you have two the exact same, and there's a 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch gusset. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I was going to punch those. Let me see. Yeah, we can go ahead and punch those. So what I did is I marked the center of my 8.5, and then I can bring my punch in, and I can see in there where to line that up. I don't know if you can see it, but my pencil line's dead center of that part. So punch that one, flip it over, and then bring it in, and just keep lining it up. This way I get equal on both sides. And you might have like a 1/2 one, but at least it's equal. It should be pretty close on the other side when I get back here. Let's see here. Oops, doubled that one. Didn't go far enough. All right. That's actually, I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. Okay. Okay. And then let's do the other one. So I'm going to bring my ruler in. Get that stuff out of my way. And we have 8, 7, 8. So bring a 16th in. There we go. So 4 inches. So we're going to nice line there. Do the same thing here. All right. I've got to make sure I see the 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3. Then I shouldn't have that problem with doubling up. Come over here. Get my 3. 1, 2, 3. Bring it out. Oopsie. Don't want to do that. Oh, guess what I get to do? I get to cut another one because I did the top edge instead of the bottom edge. All right, so let's get another piece of cardstock. Let's redo that one. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Let's bring in the trimmer. Let's redo this. So 8.5 wide by 9 7/8 high. On my 8.5 inch wide side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. Okay. And we're going to burnish. And let's come in here on the 9 7/8 side. I'm going to split the difference so I can just come in at 5 here, make my mark. There we go. And we'll try again. Try again. Here we go. Bring my punch. Center. So Make sure I'm at 3. 3. Okay. Come this way. 3. Now you can just start at the end and do it too, but this way I know it's close to being centered. Might not end up exactly each time, but it's closer than if I just started at the one end. That way I get about the same on each end. Sometimes you luck out and you get a hole, but not very often. Not very often. I guess if you planned it and cut your paper that way, you would, but I'm not going to go into that much detail. All right. So again, this was 8.5 wide by 9 7/8 high, and we scored at 1/2 inch and 5/8. Okay. All right. So let's bring this in, and these are going to this. All right. And I'm going to save these ones. I'm going to attach in here. Is that what I planned? Okay, we'll see. Let's get these attached first. So I'm going to get my gusset out of the way. I think that's why I didn't punch them, is because I wanted that to flip on there, but we'll see if it'll still work. See if I made a mistake by cutting that. We'll find out. I think we might still be all right. But I just wanted enough room there. So I'm keeping that down from the top there a little bit so I don't interfere with anything. In a minute here. Okay. Okay. Get our gusset. Perfect. There we go. All right. And now we're going to do the same thing here. The other side. We're almost done with our build. Almost done. Perfect. Okay. Kind of coming down to the bottom there. Lining that up. So many layers of black, it's hard to see. All right, here we go. Hard to see. Go. Push our gusset out. Redo that. Okay. So we have this and this. All right. Or this and this, whichever way you want. Now let me see if I add this in, because I was going to do this coming out from this edge like that. Like this. And you know what? We still can. All right. So let's go ahead and put this on this side. So this has no gusset. Okay. So I'm going to come up to, let me bring my white over here so you can see it a little better. I'm going to come up to the dots almost on my hearts. If you were not doing your edge, then you come right up to the other edge. But since I do have that decorative element, and I guess I'm about a 1/16 of an inch from the top of those hearts. There we go. And we'll have plenty of room for this to open. It's not going to be interfered with at all. And then that will close. So let's go ahead and do this side. Same thing. And these two were 7.5 inches wide by 9 7/8 high, and they were scored at a 1/2 inch on the 7.5 inch side. So you have 2 of those. All right. Oops, I got glue on the front. That doesn't help me, does it? Okay. Again, I'll line up my bottom edge there. About a 1/16 of an inch from the tops of those hearts there. There we go. Perfect. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. All right. So we'll open this way and this will open this way. Let's give this a couple magnets here to attach to here to help hold that closed. That's a big magnet. I'll take that one. All right. And then that will finish this up for today. Okay, so I'm going to put you on this side, like so. There. Okay, here we go. Oops, they're going. Okay, I'll just make sure my gussets are good. And line it up. There we go. All right, there we go. So that's number 4. So the next time then we will build the cover and the hinges and do the decorating. So that one might be a little long. If it gets too long, then I'll divide it up. But I think we should be able to do that all in the next video. So it'll be a 2-part tutorial, I hope. That's what I'm aiming for. So again, we're going to be using Authentique papers, and you can use any papers you like. Don't just assume just because you don't have the papers I have that your album's not going to turn out nice. It will turn out very nice, especially the more you start decorating and getting into them, then they start bringing on a life of their own, and you start liking them more and more. That's what I find in them anyway. The more I start decorating and stuff, the more I start liking the album. So if you're a subscriber to my channel, I really do appreciate it. If you are not a subscriber, please do so at this time. Go down the bottom right hand corner, click the subscribe button. When the bell pops up, you can hit that and be notified each time I put up a new video. So as always, until the next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.